Hello. So you must have been seeing a lot of videos on my TikTok these days, wherein you see the beautiful river, mountain, me walking with a background of Himalayas and beautiful lake which is all frozen. So let's talk about what happened last week. So this trip was for 10 days. So when I said 10 days, it actually is 10 days. So I am from Dhangadhi, and I think this is the best route to travel that way. So we took a bus on day one from Dhangadhi to a place in Bajura called Martadi. And upon arrival, we had to wait for a jeep to arrive. So it was an overnight journey in a bus. Day second, we went on a jeep ride in the rough rocky mountain. The road is not paved, so it is definitely a rocky, rough mountain road, but a different next level experience. So it was almost the entire day in a jeep. Then we arrived at a certain point after which you cannot take any jeep or any vehicle. So you have to get down, walk, cross a suspension bridge. But by the time we did that, it was already 7:30 in the evening, but it was very dark in the mountain. So we took our first shelter at a tea house there. A very different experience. There was a lovely auntie who had a very beautiful smile. We took a shelter in her house. We paid for our stay, and it was nice to chop potatoes, talking to her, and then I would not say that we cooked our own food, but it was so nice to be involved in the process. So our first night in the tea house, and the next morning, if you remember, I just mentioned that was the last place where we could take the vehicle. So from there, our hiking started. So the third day, early morning, I woke up at 4:30, and by the time we left the tea house, it was 7 in the morning. So that's 7 a.m. We walked for first 4 hours before we reached a place to have our lunch. The lunch was delicious in that place where we stopped by. You will see a lot of videos coming on my TikTok, where you would see more information about where we stopped for having our lunch and what all we did. So continuing to what I was talking. So after lunch, we continued our walk. We had to reach a place called Gumba. Beautiful place in the mountains, next to the river, and beautiful people. So to arrive at Gumba, it was our first day walking, so we had no idea. Maybe because of that reasons, we took some time to arrive at Gumba, and it was almost another 7-8 hours walk from where we stopped for lunch to reach Gumba. When we reached Gumba, we met an amazing family. Oh, I forgot to mention, when we walked for the first 4 hours, in between somewhere, we met our wonderful guide. His name is Pema. I call him Pema, the savior. He was 1920-ish boy, but very mature to his age, and he took really good care of us. And when we arrived at Gumba, we met his mom, his dad. He has 6-month-old brother, whose name is Tashi. Sorry, not Tashi, but Tenzing Furbu. So we had, they call it Changul, which is, I can say it's an alcoholic drink, but not like a strong alcohol. And there is a thing called chauri gai, which is a type of cow that you find in Himalayas, and out of its milk they make something called churpi, which texture is a little hard, and then they fry it in oil, and then this alcoholic drink that I was talking about, they pour it in, so it's warm. And after a long walk, it's delicious. I am somebody who doesn't drink, when I say that, I'm a super occasional uh, drinker, I would say. So I mean, till today, I never have had that particular alcoholic drink, but after that long walk of 14 hours, I think it was nice to have a cup of warm changul. So we had dinner with his family. Next morning we woke up, we had our meal again, and then we did another hiking for 6-7 hours. We took a stop. I think that is one of the best way if you are hiking or trekking in Himalayas, because that way you can it helps you acclimatize actually, and because when you climb up you may experience what do we call it, altitude sickness. So to avoid, it's very good to stop by and climb slowly, and maybe before you arrive at the highest point, you stop by, you take an overnight shelter to acclimatize, and that's what we did. And this is interesting. We stopped by, and our guide started cooking the food. Everything was okay till we were having food. We were around the fire. There is nothing. There is no shelter at all. It's an open ground under the beautiful moonlight, freezing cold. You'd see the water being frozen around, and we had only one plastic sheet that we used to. Only 5 could fit inside, so we were, including me and my guide, we were 2 boys, but the rest were the girls. So the plastic sheet that we had, we used it for the girls to sleep inside, and our guide, Pema Bhai, the term Bhai is brother actually. So Pema Bhai and I, we slept in an open area, which was like just under the moonlight. And when I woke up in the morning, I saw a water bottle, and the water inside the water bottle was frozen. So you can imagine, for water to become an ice, the temperature should be 0 or below. So imagine in that temperature, I am sleeping in an open area without any roof, right? Just under the moonlight. So a different experience, but I think an experience that I'm going to remember my entire life. This was our first stop. Imagine we were moving the next day to a base camp, which is East Base Camp of Saipal Mountain. And I had to spend 2 more nights in an open sky. Under the sky, I had to sleep in an open area for 2 more nights. Mentally and physically, I think I was very well prepared. To be honest, I had a broken sleep. I could not sleep in a stretch for a certain hours. Maybe I could sleep for 15 minutes, and then I woke up all of a sudden. Like it's a very different sleeping arrangement. So maybe that's the reason. Not because I was scared of something, or not because I was feeling cold. I don't know. There was something. Maybe I was mentally, psychologically, or physically, I was very much prepared that I didn't feel cold. I didn't feel uncomfortable, but I could not sleep in a stretch for a longer period. So it was like 50-20 minutes. You wake up and then you sleep again for another 1-2 hours maybe, and then it went on like that. And we arrived at the base camp, and we again I could see the beautiful Saipal Mountain. I saw Saipal Mountain in different phases. One in the afternoon daylight, and then I saw beautiful Saipal Mountain with the moonlight. It was astonishing. It was beautiful. Like, I might not even have enough words in dictionary to explain how beautiful it looked. And the most beautiful part was to see Saipal in the morning. And after we arrived in Saipal, we could not go to see Ranishain Lake that particular day. So next morning, we walked for another 3 hours to arrive at Ranishain Lake, and it was beautiful. It was just at the bottom of Saipal Himal. So it was the frozen lake, and then the mountain, the Himalayas. Oh my gosh, amazing. And that's how we managed to reach Ranishain Lake and Saipal Mountain East Base Camp. Alright, so till now I talked about how and how we arrived at our destination, which was East Base Camp of Saipal Himal and the Ranishain Lake. Now let's talk about how we came back. So let's do a little recap. Day 1, bus ride overnight. Day 2, jeep ride. Day 3, 14 hours approx hiking, trekking, or you can say walking in the mountains. Day 4, we walked for another 5 to 7 hours. Day 5, another 5 to 7 hours walk to arrive at the base camp. Day 6, from base camp to arrive at Ranishain Lake, it took almost 3 hours walk for us. Day 7 is when we started walking from East Base Camp. We took 2 days to travel from Gumba to East Base Camp, but on the 7th day we started walking around 7:30 or maybe 8 o'clock, and we arrived at Gumba by 3 in the afternoon, which was a very good progress. We took 2 days to arrive, but we did it in very less number of hours compared to how much it took us to reach there. Day 8, we started walking from Gumba to arrive at the very first place where we had taken the first shelter, because from there you can actually get into the jeep. And day 9, we went on a jeep ride, which was again till 4 p.m. We arrived at our bus station around 3 p.m. We had 1 hour to just relax and get settled to get into the bus. Day 10, we arrived in Dhangadhi in the morning at 7. So this was how the entire journey was. I would say not because I'm from the far west, not because I'm from Dhangadhi, but I think there is a lot to explore in the far west region of Nepal. We have beautiful Himalayas, we have beautiful mountains, we have beautiful unexplored hidden gem. So I think we should promote the tourism in far west as well. For all the trekkers out there within Nepal, I mean our domestic trekkers, or I can say the international visitors of Nepal, I mean international visitors coming into Nepal, a very big shout out. You must have only heard about Annapurna Base Camp, the Everest Base Camp, but what about other beautiful hidden gem of Nepal, right? Come to far west, you will see the beauty. Not commercialized, very natural. Many at times when you are walking in the mountains and when you see the river flowing right next to you, you will realize they look so surreal. They look like AI generated videos, but they're actually real and you are seeing them with the naked eyes, right? So Far West has a lot to offer, be it to the domestic travelers or international travelers. And I definitely recommend you to come to Nepal, come to the Far West, explore beautiful places like Saipal and many more. Just Google. It's very easy these days, right? You just Google the things to do in Far West, or what trekkers can do in Far West. You will see a list of things that you need to still explore in Nepal. And I'm definitely sure the Nepalese would fall in love once again with their own country, and for our international travelers, you would never regret of coming to Far West. So happy travels. Let's explore Far West. Why not start with Saipal East Base Camp?